Welcome to the chapter 5 of Modern Indian History Lecture Series. In this lecture, we are going to take Administrative Organization and Social Cultural Policy from Bipin Chandra. So, the British administration in India that was based upon the three pillars that we know, and till now it has an impact that we follow. So, one was your civil service, another was your army, and next was the police. And still, till now, we follow all those three things. And if we see, the more powerful, as usual, you will be have the civil services where you all the candidates of the UPSC and all that's preparing for those exams. There will be the army, and there will the police structure. Till now, police structures are following the British rules, British made policies and all, and that sometimes it occurs as one of the major criticism. Okay, so in this lecture we are going to discuss about civil, and in the coming part 2 we'll discuss on the army and the police, and the coming session and the coming more topics within this chapter. So moving ahead to this lecture, we'll go to this civil services. So who brought first that Cornwallis? Cornwallis like brought the civil services first, yeah, like imposed that kind of services within the Indian structure that was ruled by the British, that will rule under the favor of the British. The requirement of civil service was to check the corruption that was present within the British officials. Okay, until now that you will see that that kind of power is given to the civil services, civil servants. Okay, so the kind of corruption was at peak during that period. Okay, so British came up with this kind of services where they will start paying they will start paying huge compensation. They start paying huge compensation to those officials, so that they will not go here and there for monies that will lead to corruption. And ultimately the administration of the British officials will work efficiently. And in this section, in this services, Indians were kept outside. Why Indians were kept outside? Because Indian mindset will not match with the British interest. That was very natural thing. Okay, so British imposed these services just to get their interest, just to fulfill their interest, and to check the corruption. So these kind of services was not imposed into the favor of the Indians as well, because there was a corruption within the Indians officials as well, who were working under such high ranks. But compared to those things, it was a little, it was at lesser position. But even though there were corruption present in that Indian officials as well. Okay, so that was one of the things. So this Lord Cornwallis brought the existence of civil services. Lord Cornwallis brought the existence of civil services, and the corruption was increased at the time. Everyone was checking. That's what there was a voice raising between the England as well at the time, that British East India Company is enjoying the independent, complete monopoly over the trade with the India. And the money, even if the one major point was that British East India Company was not making that much profit, but the officials present under that were becoming rich. Okay, so they came up with the policy where they will give the high salaries, and it was one of the paying highest salary in the world at the time. Whatever the salary was started to pay for the civil services present in the company, present within the India. Okay, so the Lord Cornwallis brought the institution of civil service. The corruption was increased. The servants who were paid low wages but allowed to do private trade became the administrative functional latter, and they became extremely corrupt within the East India Company. So Clive and the Warren Hastings made attempts to put an end to their corruption, but were partially successful, because still after that also the checks and balances was not working, and corruption was there, but they were able to control over it. Okay, that's why even if you today see, the managers of the highway construction present into the India, their salary is very high. That's up to 4 lakh per month, 5 lakh per month, like that. It is just that to make sure that they won't go into the practices of corruption. That's how companies want to check those manager posts, because they will pay that much of that's huge amount to them, so they will not go here and there for another section of earnings. Okay, that's illegal earning. So the Cornwallis Governor General in 1786 was determined to purify the administration, because he found that kind of corruption. So he made determination that he want to clear the British East India Company from the corruption. So he realized that until and unless, see what happens, like the officials who were working within the British East India Company were become powerful as well. Okay, they were powerful as well. So it was not possible to just directly remove all the officials. Okay, so the path that Lord Cornwallis found, that if they increase the salary up to a high amount, then they will be able to check those things. So he realized that until and unless company servants were not paid adequate salaries, they will not be honest to them. Thus, he enforced the rule against the private trade, acceptance of presents, bribes by officials with strictness. At the same time, he raised the salaries of company's servants. Now, within the company servants, there were some other assistants posts were there. There was a lower post. The For the lower post, the salary was not that high. Okay, that salary was not that much high. When the salary was not high, British British men were not interested for those low category posts. Now, for those low category posts, British started to hire the Indians. So these were that administrative places for the low category posts. Indians were hired where the salary was not that much high. Okay, so that was another section that we will see just now here. So the company's civil service became the highest paid service in the world at the time. Further, Cornwallis made promotion on the basis of seniority, so that its member will remain independent from the outside influence. Like if you have a better image with another, if a manager, so you will get promotion. So that kind of things was not present at the time. That's barrier he removed, and he said that if you are a senior, if you have a certain period of working experience, you will get automatic promotion kind of things he imposed, so that just to impose the corruption and equal opportunity to provide to their English officials. Okay, so that was his main motive, and he made that implementation. So till 1853, all appointment to the civil services made by the directors of the East India Company, who placated the members of board of control. Remember board of control and court of members, like that we had discussed in the previous chapters, like that. Okay, so the board of control, by letting them to make that nominations used to happen. So the director found hard to retain that lucrative and prize privileges to make such appointments. Okay, so they lost it finally in 1853 when the Charter Act decreed that all recruiters to the civil services were to be selected through a competitive examination, and this competitive examination was not open for the Indian people. So the special feature since the day of Cornwallis exclusion of Indians from the civil services, he believed that, what are the reasons for believing that why he didn't include the Indian people? Because he believed that the Indian people is corrupt. But there was no reason for that. Talking about the corruption, the main reason was that the Indians will not understand the interest of the British people. That was the main thing. So it was actually led officially in 1793 that all the higher posts in the administration worth more than 500 pounds a year in salary were to be held by the Englishmen only, and below that, that could be hired by the Indian people. Why the Indian people? Because the Englishmen coming from that far places, at that working at that low wages, they won't accept it. Okay, so thus the Indian people used to get hired for those posts. So why British? So one question arose, also why British followed such a policy where Indian could be where no Indian could be hired under civil services. That's just now I have explained the reason. I have mentioned those things point by point. So there may be multiple factors behind it. First reason, Indian officials would not understand the interest of the British people. So among them, one was that they believe English personnel would be the best to handle administration based on the British ideas, institutions, and practices, not the Indian people, because they won't understand that sentiment, that kind of interest. Okay, they did not trust the integrity and ability of the Indians. They don't know when they will raise a revolt against them. What because they will work inside the administration, the core part of the official. So they had doubts in the integrity and trust of the Indians. These services were required at the time of established and consolidated British rule in India. Obviously, tasks could not be left to the Indians who did not possess the same extensive sympathy and understanding the British interest like the English men. Okay, simple, very simple. Nothing extra, nothing complex thing is mentioned here. It is very simple thing. I want to understand your interest. We know that you are exploiting us, and I won't help you in exploitation. Okay, if I get that power. Okay, simple. Moreover, the influential classes of the British society were keen to preserve the monopoly of lucrative appointments in the Indian civil services and the other services for their sons. In fact, they used to fight tooth and nail among themselves for that appointment of their hereditary. Okay, because they knew that these posts are earning more. People were coming from that Britain to India just to earn more, and they were getting more richer. They started to be counted as one of the richest people of the world, and they were earning highest salary compared to the world at that present. Okay, so Lord Cornwallis proposes higher salary for the British officials working in India to stop corruption. That's point that we are uh, concluding here. But he never thought of applying the same remedy of adequate salaries to eradicate corruption among the Indian officials. So another question I asked: how could then English agree to let the Indians occupy the service post? Because here just now we have mentioned that if the salary of the uh, present is 500 pounds more than a year, then British official can will take post. Below that, Indian people. So why Indian people were allowed? Even that we know. Just now we saw these kind of terms and conditions. Just now we have seen these terms and conditions. Okay. So why British officials were allowing Indians after that? Indians were recruited in large number of to fill subordinate posts that were cheaper, that were cheaper and much more readily available to the Englishmen will not go for the cheaper post. Okay, because they want money. So the Indian civil services gradually developed into one of the most efficient and powered civil services in the world, and till today Indian civil service is one of the prestigious post of the Indian government. Okay, so they came to believe that they had an almost divine right to rule India. Obviously, they are working in the interest of British, not for the Indian. The Indian civil service is called as a steel frame, which reared, sustained British rule in India. Thus, it became the chief opponent of Indian national movements. Okay, and still we have that thing embedded in our administrative work, and it is one of the strongest pillar of our Indian administration. For that, lots of students prepare for it and try to give their luck and exam to clear the exam. Okay, so I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. This is a new channel. We really need your support. In the coming lecture we will discuss about the army, the police and the other sessions. Thank you.